with your own. We are the living temple where Advait and Dvait are merging. And at that time, when we spend more time within doing the meditation, we realize that we literally by phasing out of the duality and heading into the non-dual state. So we have to come out of the illusions that we are achieving anything in life. And the same thing goes on the codes of conduct that all these religions and scriptures have put down, that you have to do this and you have to do this, ethics and moralities and all these things. Nobody says you don't have to follow them. You follow them, but you have to understand that that by itself is not necessarily a dharma. Dharma is where you connect to higher self. That's the only dharma. And when you connect yourself to the higher dharma, ethics and moralities happen. You don't have to do them just because somebody has told you to do it. So there is a big difference. Just the way even the scriptures don't have any value if you really go beyond all these things. Then you become Veda, you become Quran, and you become the Bible because you have connected to the higher self. Higher self tells you what to do. You are not a doer anymore. At that level, Dvait is not important because ethics and moralities are also dreams. Say you want to fight the badness in this country, right? Our concepts are based on what you and I have talked about. Everybody says Ram is good and Ravan is bad. So now that is studied in your mind. Now, from Advait point of view, Ram is also a creation of Advait and Ravan is also a creation of Advait. Maybe there is less of a Ravan in Ram and there is not enough Ram, obviously, in Ravan. But it's like, you know how you have those, the dimmer switches? You know, like when you put it all the way up, you have plenty of light. And when you bring it all the way down, there is no light. But there is not two states. Darkness and lightness are not two separate things. In lightness, there is not enough darkness. And in darkness, there is not enough lightness. That's it. They are just two extremes of the same level of existence. So Advait explains everything. Advait says goodness and badness is again your concepts. So the concepts, you have to come out of it. See, seeing a dream, in the dream you became a sadhu, you became a really great philosopher, or became a great author, or in the different dreams you became a robber and you conducted a big robbery. What's the difference? Dream is a dream. Everything is an illusion. Goodness is an illusion, badness is an illusion. What follows after you reach to the state of Advait is the scripture. The buck stops where you are. Everything else, वो बोलते हैं ना, जहाँ खड़ा हूँ वहाँ से लाइन शुरू होती है. So really, and that's the true freedom.
That's the statement of Advait.
Right. That's the true freedom from the mind. Mind gives you the concepts of goodness and badness, and unfortunately we are so locked in with these concepts that we never come out of it. And we spend all our life trying to become good and stay away from badness, and the religion says do this and do that, donate this and that. All these things are practiced just because everybody else has told you to do it. But it's not your own. When it becomes your own, then you don't need them anyway. So what's the point? In fact, every single person can have their own religion. Why do we need Hinduism and Christianity and Sikhism and all these things to tell us what to do? Because all these systems were created to keep you within the dualities. As soon as I say that I am a Sikh, I am not Hindu. As soon as I am Hindu, I am not Muslim. And all these things actually interfere to reach the state of Advaita. If I want to be in a state of Advaita and I want to merge with this total infinite consciousness, what is preventing it? My belief in Dvaita. My belief in, even at the very subtle level, if I believe that I am separate than you, that itself is going to haunt and prevent you from merging into the state of Advaita. So give up the concepts of who you are. And don't do that just because I say, or just because it's being said in scriptures or whatever it is. Have your own experience. Go deep within your inner state of meditative state.
That's where retreat help.
Of course.
That's where retreat help.
But even that concept is not good enough. Everything will help if you go within. Retreat or no retreat also. You go beyond everything. And just go deep within. At that point, you are not there. Does your name show up anywhere? That I am such and such, I am so and so? Your thoughts start waning little by little by little. I does not stay there. None of your names stay there. Your sexes doesn't matter. You are a formless state of existence. In that formless state of existence, there is nothing but bliss. So, that's the state we want to reach. But what we do is, we hook ourselves to different objects that we pick in the Dvaita state. Whether you are running after money, and then your ego or your identification is hooked to the money. That becomes your job, that becomes your guard, that becomes your goal of accumulating more and more and more. Somebody says, well, I'm better than you, I gave up the running for the money, now I'm into helping the poor. Again, that's another concept that I think is going to help me. If you really look at it, Mother Teresa, with all the work that she did, at the end of the day, she wrote a letter to the Pope that I never experienced Paramatma. So doing will never take you anywhere. Because doing is playing within the duality. Duality is the dream of Advaita. If you do anything in the dual state, you are still watching the dream. You are not going to be awake.
So that's the point where SSY begins, it's a non-doing.
Of course. Right. So
we don't teach you doing.
Right. So we are in a habit, right from the birth, we've been told that do this and you will get this. Do this and you will get that. So we have become doers. All of us are doers. Now whether you are a kid and you trying to be smiling or make your parents happy, that you realize that when I cry, my mom is not happy, but when I laugh, she's happy. So you start mimicking those things, duplicating those things, and when she's happy, she gives me this, she gives me that. As you grow older, then you start doing maskapalis to your mom, say, okay, when I was nice to her, I got a candy. So all this we learn from our childhood. And then whole series of all these events keep on happening. Then say, okay, well, I study hard, I bring good grades, my dad is happy. And then your job, my boss is happy. Then you come home, my wife is happy. That never happens. But at least you try. Yeah. At least you're making honest efforts, right? Whatever. Just kidding. So all our efforts are directed to achieve certain goal. But what happens is, whenever you're doing something to achieve something, you're missing from that original state of existence. You forgot to gain the positive pleasure out of your existence. And then when you miss that, your life becomes a torture. Because when you start a journey to achieve something, immediately you feel that you do not have something. You're lacking something. So that starts your journey in a negative footing.
Poverty consciousness.
Right. So you don't have something, you want something, you need X amount of efforts, even though that makes you to be artificial. So be it. And we all are living artificial lives. We're doing this because I'm doing a fasting because I'm a Jain and I should be doing that. I'm doing this such and such vrat, so I should be doing that. One part of the mind tells me that I'm doing this vrat. Another part of the mind says, I want to eat, I want to do this, but because it's such and such festival, so I cannot do it. One part of the mind is fighting with another part of the mind. You are still in the mind. You are never in the state of mindlessness. That's what we want to reach. Mind, along with the mind comes the dreams. So, clinging to the life again stays. Clinging is staying within the dream. It's like staying at night and say, okay, I want to keep enjoy this dream. I don't want to wake up. Now, who can stop you from doing this? If you don't want to come out of the dream, who can take you there? You have to wake up. No matter how much I tell you that, okay, this is a dream, this is a dream, this is a dream, you have to realize that it's a dream. And you will never realize that it's a dream until
you wake up.
You wake up. It's simple as that. So, Mullah Nasruddin went to doctor, right? He says, doctor, I keep having these dreams in my life, at night, at my sleep. Give me some pill so I can sleep better. So doctor says, okay, I'll give you some pill. He says, what do you see? What kind of dreams you get? He says, well, I see that monkeys are playing football, that kind of dream. He said, that's funny. He says, well, dreams are dreams. I cannot help it, right? So he says, okay, take this pill. It's a sleeping pill. Take this tonight, you will sleep better. He said, no, not tonight. He says, why not? He said, tonight is a final.
But that's how we postpone the pill.
Right. So our belief in these dreams is so strong. We don't want to wake up. Because we still believe that there is something to achieve in this dream.
Yes.
And that is our mistake. And that's called clinging to the life. That is the 5 kleshas of Patanjali. The 5th is the ultimate klesha, is the clinging. That basically where the tire, the rubber meets the road. Is ultimately all our behavior is defined as clinging to the life. We cling to the life. We think life has all the answers. We think life has so much to give. Never realizing life has nothing to offer to you. Life never gives you anything. And whatever it gives, it takes it away anyway. And if life does not,
interest.
death is like...
With interest.
With interest. So at the end of the life, you realize that I did not gain anything. I came empty-handed, I'm living empty-handed, and in fact I lost something. What did you lose? Your opportunities to meet Paramatma. And when we realize this, we realize that it's time to wake up and smell coffee. So it's time to wake up and realize the coffee's name is Advait. Advait wakes you up. It shakes you up. That what you're doing? What are you doing? You are wasting your precious moments. Every single moment is a waste. You could employ it to come out of the dream. And believe me, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time and efforts. But the direction has to be correct. Otherwise, you're going to be lost. It's every time we believe in the duality, we're wasting our life. We're wasting our time. So Mullah Nasruddin once was sitting in a 4 corners, right? He was drunk, heavily drunk. And he was behaving very erratically. I think from what it looked like, he was not only drunk, but he had drugs also. Little marijuana here and there. He was enjoying his life. So one guy comes in and he asks for direction, how to reach to the station. So Mullah Nasruddin says, go that way and make a right and then left, you will reach. So the guy starts going, no, wait. No, I think you have to go this way and then make a left and then right. So I said, okay. So the guy starts, no, wait. I think you have to go this way. So all the 4 corners, all the directions, he missed out and then he kept on changing. He says, so that means there is no way to reach station from here? You saying not this way, not this way. So Mullah Nasruddin says, if you keep listening to me, I don't think so. If you really believe, what do you think I've been doing for almost the whole day? I am lost, just like you, and I cannot help you. So people who are lost in the dualities will never help you. Talk about the bead. Bead is going in the direction, and the direction is wrong. If you take that direction along with the bead, you will never reach there. Bead has a mind of its own. Bead has its own rules. In the bead, you try to fit in with everybody. You say, well, he's doing this, so must be good, so I should also do that. If he's singing bhajans, I should be singing bhajans, and maybe he's reaching, why is he still here? Why he's not like Buddha in a jungle? Or why isn't he in a Mahavir like in a jungle? Why isn't he in his own solitude? But he's here singing bhajans, so let me do that also. So all the acts that we do are just to follow the crowd. The crowd never reaches to the Paramatma. When was the last time you heard that 500 Buddhist monks reach enlightenment overnight? Never happens. It's always solitary. Solitary is the way to go, where you consider yourself as an individual Atma. You follow your own rules. You follow your own path. It's like the birds are flying in the sky. There are no roads there. Once a bird flies, he flies. He finds his own path. He follows his own direction. He finds the way and reaches wherever he wants to reach. But as soon as he goes, the path is obliterated. It's all gone. You have to create your own path. There is nothing, there are no ready-made paths. You go within, you find your own path. But the journey itself is beautiful. So, do not have trust in anything or anyone. And especially the ones who are totally lost themselves. So going after fitting in the crowd, going to the party just because everybody drinks, you drink. Just because everybody talks about this, you talk about that. It's a waste. It's a total waste where you're wasting your precious time. So coming into the realization of Advaita requires a lot of efforts, a lot of courage, and a lot of self-realization. And that will come only when you experience self. When you experience self, automatically the confidence comes in. Now you realize that you're over and above the other crowd who are clinging to the life that there is something to have. So the clinging to the life happens only when you believe the life has something to offer. And that also, do not believe, or non-belief in the life also should not be an instruction from someone. You have to realize that something better, something brighter, something more infinite joy is sitting within you. And that will come only through meditation. So clinging to the life happens only when you have raga and dvesh. Rag is something that you like. Dvesh is something that you don't like. Rag is also an attachment. Dvesh is also an attachment. When you hate something outside, that means you think that there is something bad in the life, right? But when you love something in life, then also you think that there is something good in life. Carrot cake is a rag. Carrots are dvesh. But they both, when you think that none of the things are real, you just become an observer. That is the true meditation, where you think that there is nothing good, there is nothing bad, everything is just exists the way it is. So that state of observation you have to develop. That starts your journey into the unknown. Because life will offer you something that can be known or something that is unknown. But it can be known at some point by somebody's knowledge or somebody, and then you will know and you will enjoy or not enjoy. That's fine. But when we're talking about Advaita, is a gya. It cannot be known. It's an experience. When you want to experience something, only you have to experience. There are no written books. There are no rules to follow. There are no certain methods. And if somebody says that, they themselves are going in the wrong direction. So you have to decide which direction you want to go. Otherwise, like we said, 500 miles later, you're going to find out that the turn that you took at that last intersection 500 miles ago was You took the right turn, was supposed to be left turn. Now you are so far, and it's your pride, it's your ego that prevents you from going backwards. Because you already have invested so much time in listening to other people, bowing down to the statues, chanting the same mantras again and again and again, thinking your belief in all these things have become so deep. Now your ego comes in a way that you don't want to give it up that easily. And at that time, you feel it's too late. But it's never too late. When you talk about Advait, what is one life? Even if you have realization on the last day of life, it's worth it. Yes?
You are leaving it to the nature to guide you. That's what you are trying to say?
Not even the nature. You are the nature. You are nothing different than the nature. When a flower is blooming on a tree, flowers cannot say that I'm living up to the nature. The nature and the flower becomes a duality. A flower on the tree is an expression of the nature, which is a total consciousness. How did the flower come into existence? The tree had to exist. How did the tree come into an existence? It had to grow from a seed. To grow from the seed to the tree level, the sunlight had to offer something, the soil had to offer something, the wind had to offer something. Millions of things had to offer the soil. What is soil? There are millions of creatures who already existed billions of years back and died, and they made the soil. All those millions of creatures contributed to the creation of that tree. So the whole consciousness is operating at a very grand scale to create a tree and ultimately the flower. When you get that concept that you are not a flower anymore, it's the whole consciousness operating all together to create an experience of existence. At existential level, you are not learning anything. There is nothing to learn. There is no nature. There is not even you. You don't exist. You are like a droplet. You become an ocean. When you realize that you are nothing but the consciousness, at that level, your dream of being a droplet, your dream of being a flower disappears. And you merge yourself into a single solid state of existence. And when you reach that, that is true samadhi. And believe me, it is beautiful.
So it's the same thing as one leaf and the other leaf, they think they are separate.
Exactly.
But at the root level, they are all connected.
They're all connected. A fresh leaf budding out, an old leaf dying out. We think that, oh, I'm so young and this and that, this guy is so old, all these things. We never realize that Advait is connecting everything. And as long as we consider ourselves separate than the rest of the universe and all that, we are still in the dream. We're still waiting for that final match. Mullah Nasruddin.